Hello, my name is Vasanta and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is dedicated to the study of the science of Vedic astrology. And my intention by making this channel is to help you make better choices in your life by sometimes explaining principles and other times, less, as in this video, forecasting what the planetary weather is going to be like in 2023 so you can be ready and plan the year ahead with focus on the points that are waiting for you. Please remember that this being Vedic astrology, the ascendant is what we take as the basis to make the predictions. But if you know your moon sign and if you know your sun sign, like in Western astrology, you can also listen to the predictions and they will greatly help you make better choices in this cycle. So we are mainly taking the ascendant, but if you're not very savvy on that, then, of course, you can go with your sun sign, which is like the simplest way to interpret it. And then, more elevated. And of course, if you're in India or you know a little bit of Vedic astrology, then you can use your moon sign. And then the predictions will be, of course, extremely accurate. So from my side, I also have a video with the general forecast of what the planets are going to be looking like. So mainly we have the transit of Saturn into Aquarius early on in the month in January 17th. So that brings a very big change for all signs. Then on the 21st of April, we do have Jupiter moving into Aries. And then later on in the year, towards the end of the summer, we have the nodes of the moon moving. So all the giants are going to move during this year. So expect some shifts. But overall, in a nutshell, what you can expect is a lot more positivity and a lot more investment in character. There's a lot of gifts for humanity, but those coupled with responsibility. And there's a lot of flair for standing personally with one's own voice and for being courageous and for new projects and new energy. So the world is generally very ready for new energy during this cycle. So without further ado, welcome to the channel, and here are the predictions for 2023 sign by sign. I wish you a very happy year. All right, so let's start sign by sign. We start with you, Aries. For you, this is a time where you are coming from a cycle where there's been a lot of introspection, especially in the area of psychology and responsible for your intimate interactions with people. So, how you've mingled with drug, sex, and rock and roll, let's just put it that way. It's going to come up and what you've made of your independence, how much responsibility and liberty you have taken, but how much responsibility you can have for your own freedom. There is positivity in the area of family, of the home. There is positivity in the area of spirituality, and there is a lot of potential for healing in spirituality and understanding. You know how to formulate a moral and ethical code for yourself that can take you to the results that you would ideally want. So it is one of those years and one of those cycles. So it's personal development and independence. Taking responsibility for one's own choices. Then you have courage and personal boundaries, which, towards the second half after Jupiter shifts into Aries. Aries, you're going to have a very intense full swing year where both, Saturn is aspecting your ascendant and Jupiter is also going to be aspecting your ascendant after April 21st. So the second half of the year, starting with spring, you have a time of personal development and also responsibility for your creations. You take very strong advice and also very strong action in the area of how to raise your children, in the area of morality, in the area of ethics, in the area of philosophy and religion. So it's a very fully packed year. But I would say that there's a lot of responsibility in creativity. And, of course, there is the word spirituality. And, that is coupled with wisdom, because you are a leader. So you're the one that is going to be trying things first, as you always do. But, those who go out first usually have the responsibility of coming back and telling the others what the pitfalls are in the new horizons. So, the entire cycle is for you to be able to be a good leader and to prevent others from perhaps going into those pitfalls. And for this, you're going to need a certain amount of courage, yes, but also measure and wisdom. So if you're having trouble with understanding what's happening, I recommend that you take a look at the story of Perseus from ancient Greece. It looks to me a lot like that cycle, that story of Perseus, and what he had to do, which was he had to conquer Medusa, and then he had to bring the tool to stop a great catastrophe in the world. So it looks to me like this cycle for you is like that, Aries. Very interesting dynamic year for you. A lot to do. You're going to be very busy working on yourself and growing and developing as a leader and as a decent human being. So congratulations, Aries, with enthusiasm, with a good heart. But my advice for you is try to stick around people that are wiser than you, that have been there and done that. The key word for you, Aries, is try to be with those who have experienced the battlefield before you. They may have good advice for you. Trust yourself and, go head on. But remember that with great power comes great responsibility. Taurus, so for you in the beginning of the year, it's all going to be about relationships and good, non-violent communication. It has been a very challenging time for you since Mars has been in your ascendant for the past half a year, and now that is coming to an end in January. So once that is over, that pressure and that stubbornness to hold straight and tight will be over, and you would have learned many lessons about holding back, when it is prudent to speak and when it is prudent not to. Also, the cycle has given you new friends. It has given you new, very significant positive partnerships, new romance for you, Taurus. And also you have a great amount of short-term traveling. So that is going to shift, of course. And then for you, it's going to be all about travel, retreat, and spirituality. So there is a great emphasis as the year builds up for you to pay attention to your family, to building your home. So perhaps you're thinking of buying a home, redecorating your home, building your home. And also, you are investing very heavily, and it is becoming real for you and prominent that you're investing in developing yourself spiritually. So you might want to go the extra mile. Then you're asking yourself how work on yourself impacts your family relationships. So by this time, you're actually beginning to notice that everything you do for yourself actually does have a very positive impact in the world, in society. So remember, if you have your Lagna, your Moon, and your Sun in Taurus, these predictions will come true for you. So good luck with your relationships, Taurus, and good luck with building a new life based on empathy and love, and actually building a love that is sustainable in the essence you have worked so hard to achieve. So for you, Taurus, it's a very, very good time for new relationships and sustaining them. So it's almost like a new life when it comes to one of the most important aspects, which is those relationships. But remember, it all comes from work on yourself. So prepare for a very deep spiritual year full of auspiciousness, but also it will require your commitment, and it will require for you to understand who is family, who is not. So be selective and positive, and keep working on yourself, and you will see that at the other side of that work, everything will be fine and very positive for you. So congratulations, Taurus, and keep moving forward. on that personal work you have to do. Gemini, you are coming out of a very long and very challenging transit to your 8th house. So you're going to feel relief, incredible relief as soon as you go into the year. After the 17th, congratulations, Saturn moves from your 8th house to your 9th house. So now it is you are walking into the new cycle of your life with a lot more vision and maturity and responsibility, which will do you good. You will be more centered, more self-reliant. I think you will be more reliant on your personal capacity rather than being codependent or reliant on the external circumstances. So you'll be able to understand and assume leadership roles. You will be able to add value to society. You will understand what your responsibility is, and you'll want to go ahead and do it, which is a wonderful thing. So it comes as a very positive year and as a year of relief. You have to watch out in the way you communicate. So people are going to expect you to teach, and you'll be having a lot of opportunities to communicate what you have learned in the past few years. So good for you, Gemini. You have the desire for new friendships. So, for new horizons, really. So the horizon does open up. Probably you're going to be traveling. I see a lot of traveling for you. New countries, new venues, new people. So everything with the new, out with the old. But remember that when the new comes in, there is a process of development. So there is the enthusiasm of starting things, but then there's the process of development. So remember this, that you're naturally curious and you have an extreme need for variety. But when you start something, try to finish it and go all the way through, because you remember responsibility and development. The responsibility in society is there. There is a very big emphasis on work and also wealth. So this is a year where you're going to want to make money, where you're going to want to work hard, and you also focusing your energies on your legacy, on building a business or perhaps scaling up in your business. So it's a very good year for that. There's blessings for wealth. And then, of course, learning and teaching. So you're going to be prompted to, go one step further in what you have been studying, and maybe perhaps make a course or figure out a way to communicate it. Or you might do a master's degree or a doctorate in a field of your interest. So this is how the year comes up for you. Overall, a very good year and a very empowering year for you. So you can expect very good results, and of course a much lighter year when it comes to everything. Also, when it comes to relationships, there is a new start in your love life, so you can look forward to that. A lot of positive energy when it comes to friendships, relationships, and partnerships. So very positive time for you. Congratulations, Gemini. Go into it with positivity, but also responsibility. Take responsibility for your blessings. Cancer, you have been working on yourself tremendously. You've had to hold the family together. You had to let go of many things. You've also been very busy in the area of work, expanding, studying, being very diligent, and having to be kind and holding the family together. So there's been a lot of that going on. And as we go into the year comes up for you to work more. It gives you an opportunity to work more on yourself and to achieve your personal goals. So it will be a challenging cycle for you, because on one area, you're going to want to finish the cycle of working on yourself, on that goodness that you have. But then on the other area, the planets this year are calling you to either teach, but mostly learn more in your area so you can become more qualified. And you're also going to want to have more economical power, it seems, more responsibility over your investments. in this year. So you may buy a car, or you may go for education, or you may remodel your house. You may let go of your old place of living and move to a new one. When it comes to work, there's definitely a promotion coming up for you, where you will be seeing in a position of leadership. So wealth and education are very important for you. Work and career, very important for you. And you're going to be a bit split during this year. It's a very intense year for you, because you're also going to be undergoing a very deep process of personal healing, and what you have learned through that healing. So perhaps visiting a psychologist, going to therapy. If you're feeling tired or depleted, take time for yourself, take time to recharge. Remember, it is only on the measure of how well you are managing your own energetic system that you will be able to uphold the family or the people that you love, especially if you're the caretaker, the caregiver in the family. If you are the support of others, or if you're a teacher. Remember, Cancer, take care of yourself, nurture yourself. And, the quality of how well you'll be able to nurture others is, of course, going to speak for itself. So an intense year for you, Cancer. Congratulations, and go at it with an open heart, but also pace yourself and, have responsibility. Remember, we can only do so much at a given time. But primarily, take care of yourself. Take responsibility for your internal well-being, for your internal balance, for your internal psychological health. And welcome to the new year. For you, Leo, you are coming out of a time where you had your problems and your battles. It's a time where you were working on yourself. It might have manifested for the last 2 or 3 years in legal battles, or even in health issues. Or maybe you went very physical on working on yourself and your body. But now that is going to shift, and the shift and the responsibility now goes into the area of relationships, and developing a very strong character and a very strong presence. You're going to be taking presence for your role, responsibility and presence for your role in society, and for embracing your duties. So it's, from what I can see here, it's a time where you're going to have to be brave and step up and own your life, and let other people know that you're there to take care of business. You're there to take care of your responsibilities. It's also a very creative time on the positive side. There's an influx of creativity. There's positivity if you want to do right action and benefit for others. And if you embrace your path, your career, your responsibilities, you will be blessed. What else is there? In the beginning of the year, you may have some spiritual times. So as you go into 2023, you're going to be dwelling very strongly into what is important in life. And so these are the 3 things that you're going to be very focused on. So, at the end of the cycle, 2.5 years from now, when Saturn's done with its job, I can foresee very strong responsibilities for you, very strong partnerships that will be established for you, and you will be known for your character. So your character, remember, it is the way you act, coupled with, the mood and the personality you put to it. So good for you, Leo. It seems like definitely a time for work, but I think you're going to be all right, and I think you can manage it. For you, Virgo, it is a time for going deep within yourself. You like to be neat, and you like to be on time, and you like to everything be where it belongs. And that can be very pragmatic. It can be a very external activity. And this cycle that is opening up for you, what will happen is you will be encouraged and given the opportunity to go inside of yourself and put order inside rather than outside. So it's more of a subjective time of your life rather than an objective time of your life. So especially in the area of psychology, especially in the area of everything that you've been putting under the carpet and not wanting to mind. During this period is going to come up to the light. So you're going to have to braven up and, put your armor on and go into that dark cavern of your inner world and put things, neatly where they belong. So there's a lot of understanding in the process. This inevitably can be played out in a psychological level, but beyond that, I think that in a spiritual level, you will also be working towards growth. So overall, I see a period of tremendous growth. I see support from your family, support from the family you came into the planet with. Not the one that you make, but also the one that you came with. Now, on the area of the family that you made and in your partnerships, this is also open. Overall, in the first half of the year, you're going to have good social status, support from friends, good finances, communications, short journeys. All of that is going to be active. But towards the second half of the year, especially after April, that's the period of inner work. Also, you will be called to take care of your health, attention on your diet, on your health. And very important for you, be very mindful of stress. I think you may be overwhelming yourself with a feeling that you have to do so much externally in order to compensate for the inner work that you're not doing. So remember, the rule of thumb during 2023 for you is internal work rather than overcompensation. On the positive side, there is new relationships and partnerships that will support you through your process. And there's a lot of humanitarian service. So part of that spirituality or that inner work that you're doing, you can also discharge it through social work or humanitarian work. In this case, it can also be ecological work. So Virgo, you're going into a period that I would say is of introspection. So on the other side of it, I think you'll come up more mature and ready to take more responsibilities as you like it. So your character doesn't have to suffer, but remember, instead of putting your focus and your faith on the external circumstance, try to go inside and try to make the balance and the peace and the order that you so much love as part of your nature. Try to make that order and that harmony within you. So 2023 is waiting for you. Libra, for you, it's been about working on yourself and developing yourself in the area of studies. So you've had that opportunity, and also you are learning to overcome your challenges by kindness and compassion rather than by fighting. And of course, you've been very interested in work. So that is going on, and it'll be going on until April the 21st. And then it shifts for you. And then the area of interests that is going to be coming up is, of course, going out to the world and teaching. There's a lot of new people coming in your way, a lot of new relationships, a lot of new partnerships. So if you're unmarried, it'll be a time where you're going to be considering the present couple you have for marriage. And if you are married, it'll be a time of deep commitment and deep partnership. You will feel like you're finally qualified to live up to your life and, the expectations that you have for yourself. So mostly the area that is impacted during this cycle is the area of your marriage and your partnerships, where you're going to want to take, or you're going to feel like taking a very big stance, and a lot of your energy is going to go into that area. And of course, your friendships are also going to be impacted. Then, wealth and education continue. So you're going to want to continue educating yourself. And in the second cycle, the second part of the cycle, you're going to want to teach what you have learned, perhaps go out there to the world and give what you have. And then this establishing new friendships is also there. So you're going to be meeting a lot of people. But you see the responsibility for teaching what you have learned so far. I think in the area of ethics and moral and, how to make sense of reality in a balanced way, how we can learn to heal, how to solve problems in a nonviolent way, with kindness, compassion. All of this is, at play during the next year. So it's almost like you've been training for going into the game and showing, the world what you have. So it is the competition after hard training. So now you must show what you have learned. So, overall, it is a very positive cycle, and it's a cycle that will bring you lots of rewards in the area of partnership and commitment. So if this area has been prominent for you, is very important, you can expect that a marriage is going to come up, or a very solid partnership. It is time for that. So congratulations, Libra. Be responsible for your blessings, and take responsibility and take care of your blessings. Scorpio, so it's been an overall positive cycle for you, the one before. So you've had a lot of light coming into you, a lot of young energy, a lot of renewed new energy, and you've been generally quite blessed during this time. Of course, as everybody in the world, you have had your challenges, especially in the area of personal relationships, so lots of arguments there. But in the area of personal development and self-reliance, you've been doing fantastic with that transit of Jupiter in Pisces, which is aspecting your ascendant and your ninth house. So you've been doing very well in that area. So there's a lot of light, and you are being seen in a good light. Now, as the planets shift and Saturn goes into Aquarius, the responsibility comes to, to give that light that you have collected and bring it to your family, to those people who are near and dear to you, and also in the area of work. So you're going to be very busy both ways, especially in the area of your family. So you might want to invest in buying a new home, or you want to remodel the current home you have. And then in the area of work, there is an ascent in position. So you might get the job you wanted, or you might get the position as a manager or somebody with more responsibility. Generally, what I see for you is a time of a lot of work, where you're going to have to really grow when it comes to your abilities and how much you invest in yourself. So invest in yourself, I would say. You have to up your game. I think that is the key for you, to understand that it is the time to up your game. And there's those two fronts, right? At home, you're going to have to pay a lot of attention, because your personal relationships really require you during this time. So you're going to feel more pulled towards, your native family, or the family that you have created already. And then, a lot of the time is going to be consumed in a lot of hard work. So you're going to feel like you're going to have to fight hard for, what you envision, and work hard for it. So it's a cycle of very hard work, but a lot of opportunity. So if you play it right, it can be a cycle of a lot of success if you decide to up your game. So, be very ready to play ball. It's going to be a time where you can collect a lot if you are consistent, and if you are upgrading yourself, and if you are going, head on into the challenge, and if you're committed. So congratulations, Scorpio. And good luck with all the challenges. It's going to be a very active year for you. So Sagittarius, for you, it has been a very spiritual time this past year. You have gone through a lot of responsibility in the external world. You had to invest in yourself, and you had to grow. And now that you've completed a very large cycle when it comes to, paying attention to your family, empathy, being mindful of others, embracing others in their pain, embracing others in their limitations, embracing others in their depth. All of that has been going on, and now what is happening is you're being called to pay attention to the quality of your communication. So, I would say stop rushing and slow down a little bit and be very mindful of the learning process of other people. Remember that not everybody is as fast as you, and that not everybody, can understand reality as deep or as fast as you can. Also, that not everybody's as adventurous as you can. So I think towards the middle of the year, what's going to happen to you is you're going to want to take people on an experiential ride with you. You will feel excited about, showing people what you have learned, but more on a training level, on an experience level. So teaching the young is very important. Creativity, taking responsibility for creating a new world, or creating in general, is going to be at the top of the list. And of course, that question of adding value. So this year is not about having fun and exploring as you like for you. This year is more about taking a direction and investing in it, and also taking responsibility of it. So committing, I think it's a year of commitment to you, Sagittarius, but overall very positive, because you are going to have the direct aspect of Jupiter in your first house, and then Jupiter from April onwards falls in your fifth house of Purva Punya. It's going to be meeting an aspect of Saturn there. So whenever Jupiter and Saturn meet in energies, something happens in that house. So your most active house is the fifth one, and the emphasis goes there, right, in creation. Where are you going to put your commitment? Whether it's studying something new and going all the way, or maybe investing in a new discipline. So it is responsibility for teaching by own example, and responsibility for taking a ministry, for really embracing something. It's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do now in my life, and everybody can count on me for that. So it's that kind of year. And of course, the inner work and spirituality continues, because you do have an aspect of Saturn, in the houses that matter, which is the houses of spirituality and the houses of Dharma, of your responsibility and of your role in this incarnation. So slow down, Sagittarius, and take responsibility. You're wise enough, you're kind enough, you're strong enough to center yourself in this year. So congratulations. Capricorn, you survived. Congratulations. You have undergone probably the toughest cycle you're going to have in 27 years. It was the Sade Sati was especially long for you, so very challenging economically, very challenging in the area of work, very challenging in your inner sense of self. So you've been redefined. You were thrown in the washing machine and you were put out to dry, and now you're walking out fresh and clean, and bright and white. So it's a new cycle for you. Congratulations. You're going to be very focused on economy. Now that, this harsh part of Sade Sati has ended. There is bonanza when it comes to relationships. So you get a blessing in the first half of the year for having a good time with family. Family becomes prominent for you. You will understand that, where the bulk of the energy has to go. So your family becomes prominent. Your spouse or your couple becomes prominent, and there's blessings so that you can explore that. And then, of course, Saturn is going to be transiting your second house. So that means there's a big emphasis on personal growth and economy. So, master's degree, studying, social status, working for the money to establish yourself, luxuries. So, in a sense, you'll be collecting everything that Saturn had to give you under the test of being in Capricorn. You'll collect it on the other side now that Saturn has gone to Aquarius. So you'll be collecting, your responsibilities, but also, the positions that, Saturn awards people handsomely when Saturn doesn't crack you. He'll reward you handsomely. before he'll test you and he'll make you strong and tough. So that process is over. And then, towards the second half of the year after April, what's going to happen is you have the bulk of the meeting in the fourth house of ancestral home. So going back to parents, to ancestral family, to inheritance, to the values that you were born with, investing in your house, in the place that you live, perhaps, making the commitment of amplifying your living space, bettering it. So it's a time of investment. I think that you will be ready to know what areas of life you can invest in and what areas are likely to be profitable. And it has to do a lot with the future, with long-term investment, I would say. You have the opportunity to work on yourself and heal. You must be exhausted. So that opportunity is given, taking responsibility for the inner work. So mostly it's going to be through creativity. So you can expect a very creative burst. You'll find yourself doing art and playing and allowing yourself to just express yourself. And then finally, there is a very big blessing after April for you to go on pilgrimage and spiritual journeys. So you will have the chance to breathe a little bit and that inner healing, right? And many blessings will be collected. So overall, I see that it's a cool down period for you after the long battle that was the core of the Sade Sati. And then, of course, responsibilities, taking responsibilities for yourself and for others will be there. But, you're not shy towards responsibility since you're a Capricorn. Just try to pace yourself and understand that the toughest part of the journey is now over. And now it is time to basically, collect the fruits and invest long term and see it grow. So congratulations, Capricorn, you made it to the other side of the river, and now it is time to celebrate and acknowledge and value and appreciate what you have and invest long term. It is not a time to start something new. It is more a time to sustain, maintain, and invest in what you already have. Congratulations, Capricorn. Aquarius, you're going to be very busy working on yourself. You're going to be expanding. It is a time for expansion, really, in the areas of wealth, in the area of work, in the areas of, attending everyday duties. You're doing okay in those areas. So you'll be thinking about where to go next in the area of making money, etc. And then on the other hand, there's a very big emphasis on relationships. That's what I see mostly coming for you. And you're entering the core of Sade Sati. So the key word for you is responsibility. So now as you go into Sade Sati, I'm going to be making a separate video about it with remedies. So if you're an Aquarian, you might want to look into getting a 14-mukhi Rudraksha. You can find the link to shantirudraksha.com. I recommend use the 14-mukhi Rudraksha, the mantra Om Namah Shivaya during this time. And there's other remedies that you can perform, such as giving donations of the elements of Saturn, which would be steel, iron, sesame seed oil, and mustard oil. You can give donations of these to the sadhus or to the holy people or to the temples or to the elderly people asking for their blessings. Sade Sati is generally a very challenging time, but mostly if you can be responsible, in your case about your words and your speech, responsible for your actions, taking responsibility for your life. But generally, it's a pretty unstable period where your outer reality, all the stability in the outer reality is going to be shifted and challenged. So that you have to measure up from within. You're going to have to find that stability within you. So, expecting instability, expect a lot of travel, expect a lot of challenges, expect expectation of you. And, you have to go inwards and find the inner resources. So this greatly challenges your partnerships as well. So your relationships with your intimate people, with the people that matter in your life, those will be challenged as well. So overall, I see that you're going to be very, very busy. The focus is on relationships and self-development. In the area of personal responsibility, be very careful in the way that you say things, how you say things. The quality of your communication is extremely important in this time. And you do have career expansion and work. So overall, a busy time. I see it positive. Your transit is going to be much less harsher than the transit that the people that had Sade Sati in Capricorn had. It comes in a much more positive note because, of course, Saturn is in its Mula Trikona sign, and Saturn does very well in Aquarius. But yes, you have to put a lot of hard work in in scaling and walking the path of the person that understands how the universe works, the forces of the universe, the inner forces of yourself. You're different. You've always been different, and you know it. But now it is time to add value in that difference. So this cycle of Sade Sati is necessary for everybody because it'll mature you and it'll make you responsible. You will carry the teachings that Saturn gives you for the rest of your life, at least for the next 27 years. So it's very important time, although challenging, it's very important. I feel that you can cope with it well. Being attuned already to the energies of Saturn. Remember, Saturn is not expansive. Saturn contracts you, so it'll make you go inside and look at your core and depend more on your core self rather than, the external support that, sometimes we get from the environment. Jupiter makes it comfortable for you. Saturn makes it uncomfortable externally. So you can find, the inner resource inside. So try to see it in a positive way. Sade Sati can be very positive. And, try to see the challenge as a gift. Without challenges, how would we grow? How would we ever find, inner strength? Remember, you're stronger than you imagine, wiser and more resourceful than you can ever imagine. And during this time, that'll be made obvious. So, as you go in, do remember to wear a 11 mukhi or 14 mukhi rudraksha. This will alleviate a lot of the constant testing of Saturn. It'll be more gentle and you'll be more centered. You'll have more capacity to cope because it's a marathon. It's 2.5 years. Or do the remedies for Sade Sati that are recommended. As I said before, I'll make a video on it. I'll try to post it as soon as possible. So go into it accepting and embracing the gift of maturity and strength that Saturn offers you. Pisces. So for you, again, the focus is on career and wealth. You were very focused on growing yourself, and you were very focused on kindness, on giving, on creating, being the hopeful, positive voice that believes in a better future, and you've communicated it to people. So overall, I feel the last cycle, as Jupiter was in Pisces, was very good for you because Jupiter is aspecting your 5th house of Purva Punya, positive karma. It's also aspecting your 9th house. So overall, you had a good cycle. However, Saturn was in your 11th house, so you must have found it challenging with friends. So now that it's coming to an end, Saturn moves to your 12th house. So you will be feeling that you need to retreat and you really need to think of your spirituality now. The way that you're going to want to go about your spirituality, I think, is through social service, to making an impact with concrete actions, with, under concrete methods. So it's not just dreams and wishful thinking and, very beautiful pink glasses dreams that never come true. I think during this time you're going to want to take action. And even then, you're going to want to become perhaps qualified in the area that you want to give a social service in. So you might go study and train and grow yourself further in that area. There's an expansion in the area of creativity, children, and of course self-confidence, but in this time it is pragmatic. So, you're going to have to take responsibility for your inner world so that all the beautiful, wishes and all the kindness that you bring into the world can materialize subjectively, so that you can communicate it in a way that it can be executed. So it's not just left in, in dreams or hopes, but it can be tangible for others. So social service for you is very important. Doing activities, going into the field, helping others, manifesting, helping to manifest that better reality. So there's a bit of an activist for you during this year. And of course, there's a lot of personal investment when it comes to career and, being brave to go and grow and study and commit. So there's a lot of commitment in that area. And I think some traveling for you is there, some retreat time necessary for you during this cycle, during this year. Overall positive, but just try to remember that you must see what you want to do, and then you must invest in a skill so that you can manifest it. But that clarity comes from meditation. So, try to center yourself and focus in one definite direction. It'll make things much easier for you. Otherwise, you can get overwhelmed because you're very kind. By nature, you're going to want to help everybody. You take the metaphor of the tree. If you water every leaf, it'll be a disaster. But if you water just the root of the tree, then the entire tree will be nurtured. So, wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to his friend Arjuna, in one of the verses, that it is better to perform one's duty, even if done wrongly or imperfectly, than to try to perform another person's duty, even if you do it perfectly. So what he's trying to say here is that it's better to focus and become very skilled and, just, again, focus on what you are here to do and become the best you can at it. It is enough. And you can add a lot of value, so you don't have to take care of everything, right? Just focus on the one area where you have already discovered from the past cycle that your help is needed. And with this, I wish everybody, if you're at the end of the video, I wish you a very beautiful 2023. Remember, you can always pray. Remember, God's helping hand is always there. And remember, the underlying nature of reality is love and service. So as long as you are connecting and tapping into that underlying beautiful reality, everything will turn out okay in the end, because you cannot deny harmony. And even if there is this harmony in the environment, by your action, naturally you will help it, again, align to what is original. So overall, a better year, I would say, than 2022 and 2021. Definitely a year of expansion. Definitely a year of opportunities. Definitely a year with a lot of gifts. So congratulations to everybody. If you're alive and you're listening to this, thank you for allowing us to enter your homes and for allowing us to perform our service. I wish you a very beautiful year, and have faith and confidence in yourself. Have faith and confidence in God, and try to treat your brothers and your sisters of this world in an excellent way. Try to be excellent to the planet. Try to take care of our home. And most importantly, whatever it is that you do, try to offer that with love and a smile. Don't be attached to the result of your actions. Just do what you're here to do. Do it in the best way you can, and offer it with love and a smile. So from myself and my team, we wish you a happy 2023. Goodbye.